So, welcome everybody to the 10th class in this Bhagavad Gita study series. Um, uh, if everyone can mute the mics, that would be good. Okay. Um, Today we will do a review of the second chapter. We've just completed the second chapter and we will do a review. So, I will just go over the points. If you'd like to participate, feel free to do so. Um, So let's review from the beginning. In chapter 2 that we saw, which is considered the most important chapter, what did Arjuna want to do at the beginning of the Gita? He was in a very desperate situation. Does anybody want to answer this question? What was his inclination at that time?
To flee to the forest and not
Yes,
to perform his duty.
correct. Yeah, he wanted to flee the battlefield and go to the um, forest, become a sannyasi, a monk living on alms, that is, begging for food. So that is his state of mind. So it very clearly he tells that in the fifth shloka. Guru hatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum vaiksham apiha loke hatvartha kamanstu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudira pratiktan. He says, Guru hatva hi mahanubhavo shreyo bhoktum vaiksham api iha loke. It is better to eat bhoktum, eat bhiksha. It is alms, food that you get by begging. It is better than killing these noble people. That was his state of mind. So, and why did not Krishna teach this Bhagavad Gita to Yudhishthira, who is considered the manifestation of dharma, right? Yudhishthira was this of the five Pandavas, the eldest, and he is Dharmaputra, son of Yama, Dharmaraja. Why did Krishna not teach him, and why did he teach Arjuna? Anybody wants to answer?
Yeah, he was in complete surrender
Yeah,
and Sharanagati.
Sharanagati. Yeah,
Yeah, I think Yudhishthira was also one that really upheld dharma anyway, right? But
yeah. Yudhishthira
Arjuna
at
had
that
to
point in time did not ask for the teaching. So that is what had happened. So let's see. So, oops. Um, so in the Bhagavad Gita, very clearly he asks for karpanya doshopahata swabhavaha pruchami tvam dharma sammuda cheta yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadi mam tvam prapannam. Shishya, accept me as your disciple. Prapannam, I totally take refuge in you. So that is the reason why Krishna teaches. So even in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, he says this should not be told to anybody who doesn't want to hear this. So one has to ask for this knowledge. And what are the four main divisions of chapter 2? Does anybody want to say? So it's good to understand the structure. We've been following a structure, right? So what are the four parts of chapter 2?
let me just pull it up. The first one is pulling it up. Okay, the first one is Arjuna surrendering, so the Sharanagati.
Yes. Yeah.
And the second
Arjuna
is
surrenders first. That is the first 10 shlokas. And the second one is Jnana Yoga. So this is the most important portion of the entire Bhagavad Gita. So we saw that Bhagavad Gita is a text on Atma Vidya, knowledge of the Atma. So it is this, and then Arjuna, Krishna finds that Arjuna is quite not getting this. So he then moves to Karma Yoga. So we saw Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga are both sadhanas, both are needed. One is like the elementary school, other is like the high school. So only from high school you graduate. So it's only with Jnana Yoga, understanding the nature, the difference between the Atma and the body, that's how you graduate. You get moksha. But Arjuna was having difficulty. So Krishna tries to tell him the highest knowledge, but Arjuna was having difficulty. So then Krishna starts talking about Karma Yoga. That's when Arjuna's interest is kindled. And Arjuna then asks the question of how does this person whose mind has settled from Karma Yoga, how does he look like? How does he behave? Then Krishna talks about Sthita Prajna, the person of steady wisdom, mind calm. Okay. So then what is the best description of the Bhagavad Gita? So of these 4 points, what would you choose? Is it bhakti? Is it a book on Ishvara, Krishna, and devotion and glories? Because Krishna talks about in the 10th chapter, it's all about vibhutis. And in the 11th chapter, he gives Vishwarupa Darshana. So glories and of Ishvara, is it about that? Or is it on values? 18th chapter is full of values. Or is it a book on self-knowledge? What would you classify the best as the best description of the Bhagavad Gita? Anybody?
Atma Jnana, so the book on self knowledge.
Yes, the Bhagavad Gita primarily is a book on Atma Jnana. So it is on self-knowledge. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna very clearly makes this point. What are the two basic constituents of human beings? So we are consist of two parts. So this is in yoga and Vedanta, it very clearly delineates. What are these two parts?
Purusha and Prakriti. So
Purusha and
Purusha being
Prakriti.
the Atman, Prakriti being the body.
Correct. So that is the two main components every person, every living being is made of. And we saw 5 properties of the Atma. This is like the core in all the Upanishads. Atma is considered as having this 5. Anything which doesn't have these 5 qualities is not Atma. It is not the consciousness. Atma is the consciousness. So can anybody say what the 5 properties are?
So Aprameya,
Yeah, aprameya means
one which cannot
something
be comprehended.
comprehended. It's beyond comprehension. If you can comprehend something as the um, through your senses, then it is not Atma. Okay. So, and the second one,
Avinashi, or it
yeah,
is eternal, it is indestructible.
yeah, it is Vinasham means destruction. So, Avinashi means it is indestructible. It is eternal. It's just been like that. And the third one,
Sarvagathaha,
yeah,
all pervading.
Sarvagataha, all pervading. So this consciousness, it is not just in the body. It's like the ocean. Water is there everywhere. So that is the very important aspect of consciousness. And then the fourth one,
Nirvikaraha,
yeah,
changeless.
nirvikara. Vikaram means change.
So
Nirvikara means something that
change.
doesn't change. It's just like that. The body changes. Any matter and also energy also. So consciousness is not energy. This is a common mistake people make. People think that consciousness is energy, but consciousness is not energy. energy can change from potential to kinetic energy, from the turbines, so kinetic energy to electrical energy, so the different forms. But and even matter can become energy, like nuclear reaction. But our consciousness doesn't change at all. So this is how you distinguish consciousness from matter. So even energy is considered prakriti, part of nature. And what's the fifth one?
Akarta and abhokta. So that's non-doer of actions and one who is not affected by the results of the actions.
Yes. So it is like the light principle. So in the presence of light, both good and bad things can happen. In the presence of light, a surgeon conducts brain surgery, and robbers also, they indulge in theft. So both good and bad things happen. It is light. It's like the consciousness provides. It's like the light. It enlivens things. But what the actions depends on the individual nature or the gunas of these people. Okay. Then, so this is a very important thing, the five properties. Then there are many analogies given in Vedanta for the oneness of the Atma, the consciousness, and the Brahman, the universal consciousness. We saw that, right? Water. So can somebody give one example? You can look at the,
Yeah, the ocean and the wave.
yes,
So the wave is part of the ocean, although it appears separate, but it is a part of it.
yeah. So the ocean and the wave example is a good example for the consciousness. So consciousness is sarvagataha, all pervading. So the wave is born and it vanishes, but it's still water. Before birth and after vanishing, it remains as water. Similarly, Atma exists before the birth of this body and after the death. Okay. And another example is also used. And this example is that of a light bulb. So in this example, Atma, the consciousness, it's like the electricity. So the bulb we saw, it's like a body. So some teachers, they make fun of it, say the bulb, it also resembles a body. Um, Filament is like the mind, and the electricity is the Atma. It's the same electricity in all the bulbs. So it's like the consciousness. It's there everywhere. It's flowing everywhere. It To manifest, it needs a bulb. To manifest into something that everybody can see, it needs a structure, and that is what the body provides. Okay. Then in the bulb and electricity, we just saw what does the bulb, filament, and electricity stand for. We just saw that. The bulb stands for the body, the filament stands for the mind, and the electricity is the consciousness principle. Okay. Okay. In the example of, we saw vasansi jirnani yata vihaya navani grunnati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani sanyati navani dehi. In the example of people changing worn out clothes, what do the clothes and the person stand for? So they are, and it's an analogy, right? So what does it represent? Anybody can answer?
So the clothes that they're changing is the body, and
Correct.
the part that is not changing is the atma that does not change.
Correct. The person, the clothes are the body. The person who's changing the clothes, that is like the Atma. In this example, here the person is not the body, so it's like the Atma putting on different clothes. That's like, it's like that. Now, we saw this story, if you remember, there's a tiger and the jackal story, vegetarian jackal from the Mahabharata. It talks about swadharma, that is duty, role, occupation, born of one's true nature. List two shlokas in the Bhagavad Gita that talk about the importance of swadharma because it's such an important concept. Sometimes we take a fancy towards certain things and we want to do that, even though by nature it's not conducive. We just get infatuated by certain things. We want to become a movie star or something, a great speaker, but somebody can be an introvert and not suitable. So it's two shlokas talk about swadharma, one's nature born duty. um, can you list those two shlokas? Anybody?
You want the number of the shlokas or the shlokas?
um, you can either way, you can give whatever is.
Okay, so you have
Yeah, so let's hear.
3.35 shloka.
Yeah, Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha. We'll see this. Now we're going to start chapter 3. We'll see that Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha means one which is tainted. Vigunaha, it's not good gunas. Swadharma, even if it is not, you're not doing something well, eventually you will do it well. But it's better than Paradharmat Anushtitata. It's better than engaging in somebody else's action, not one suited for your personality. So initially, everybody, even for example, the great athletes who are innately good, they're not going to be like top. They have this skill, but still they're not there. It requires some practice. So that's what Bhagavan says. Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmat bhayavahaha. It's better to die doing your own duty than trying to do somebody else's duty, because it is full fraught with fear. Bhayavahaha, he uses the word. And then in the 18th chapter, he says, Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham api natyajet sarvaramba hi doshena dhumenatnir ivavritaha. Your sahajam means born out of one's own nature, karma, the actions, even if they are dosha means a fault, even if they have dosha, do not cast it away. It's fine. Eventually, it will become better. Serve all actions. When you start, you're not going to excel at it. So he says, just like a fire is covered in smoke, all actions initially are tainted, but you should still do it. Okay. Okay. Then, um, what all constitute karma yoga? Anybody? What are the different constituents of karma yoga? So we saw there are two paths. We just talked about it now. Karma yoga is like elementary school. Jnana yoga is like high school. So what all constitute karma yoga?
Karma is
Anybody?
like devotion, prayer,
Yes, devotion, prayer,
Ashtanga yoga, and
all the
some
Ashtanga yoga, all the components, meditation, all these are for purifying the mind, so they become suitable for study of the scriptures. Okay. And what all constitute Jnana yoga?
So you have a persistent studying of the scriptures and being taught by a competent acharya.
Yes. So Jnana Yoga includes a systematic and consistent study of scriptures under the guidance of a competent acharya. So our teacher here is Swami Paramatmananda. We are following his talks, and the lineage goes on all the way unto Shankaracharya, who clarified everything and put, even at that time, there was a lot of confusion. Different people were interpreting it differently. And Shankaracharya came and said, this is the right interpretation, because all other interpretations, they have conflicting views. So one, you have a certain interpretation for one shloka. If you use the same interpretation for a second one, it'll be conflicting. So Shankaracharya came and clarified everything. Then our karma, jnana yoga, two different paths for moksha. So moksha means we have the cycle of samsara, cycle of births and deaths. Getting out of that is moksha, liberation from the cycle. Can you get to moksha through either of these paths?
Both are required.
Both are required. Yes. So Krishna, we saw that even Swami Paramatmananda, again and again and again, he emphasizes both karma yoga and jnana yoga are required for moksha. There is no choice in this. And Krishna struggles and struggles to convey this to Arjuna. Shankaracharya struggles and struggles throughout the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, you can listen to a clip of Swami Paramatmananda.
Still there are people who think that karma yoga and jnana yoga are alternative means of liberation. Still majority of people think, and they talk about different paths to liberation. If you are an active person, you attain moksha through karma. If you are an intellectual person, you attain moksha through jnana yoga. நீ கர்மா பாத்துல போய்க்கோ, நான் ஞானா பாத்துல போறேன், ரெண்டு பேரும் மோட்சத்துல வச்சுட்டு ஹலோ சொல்லிக்கிறோம். Even now there is a very big confusion. Shankaracharya struggles to clarify this confusion, and he says karma yoga cannot lead you to liberation. It will take you to jnana yoga. Jnana yoga will lead to liberation. This is
Okay, so this is a very important part. What are the different definitions of yoga given in the Bhagavad Gita? Anybody? Different definitions of yoga. There are 3 definitions of yoga given in the Bhagavad Gita. All 3 are beautiful definitions.
We have evenness of mind.
Yes.
Being even-minded in ups and downs.
Samatvam yoga uchyate. Then
you have yoga. It is skill and action.
Yeah.
So giving up good and bad. Again, evenness in mind.
Yeah, it's a discretion here. It means skill means discretion in action. Which way? It's like sharp intellect. So viveka khyati is the word Patanjali uses.
Yes.
In the mind, it's like kushala, becomes like sharp. Kaushalam comes from the word kushala, which it comes from the kusha grass, which is like a blade. It's a very sharp grass. If you walk on it, you can cut your skin. So the mind becomes so sharp in discrimination. And the third one is
severance with pain.
Yeah, because we tend to get disappointed. So yoga provides such internal bliss from meditation, asana practice, all these pranayama, that your mind doesn't fall into despondency. So yogo anirvinna chetasa. So anirvinna means nirvana, it's depression. Anirvinna chetasa means with a despondent, not depressed mind. And in the Vishnu Sahasranamam, today is Vaikuntha Ekadashi. It's a very special holy day. Vishnu Sahasranamam, one of the names for Vishnu is Anirvinna Sadamarshi Lokadistanamatputaha. Anirvinna, it's always happy. Sadamarshi, ever merciful. Lokadisthanam Adbhutaha, he is the substratum. He supports the entire world. And Adbhutaha, wonder. That's the name is used. Okay. So the three slokas are in there. Okay. So we saw that the Vedas. So Vedas are the revealed scriptures, right? Um, it was revealed to these rishis in their meditation, and it consists of the Veda Purva, which is the initial portion of the Vedas, which has all these rituals to purify the mind, and it also has rituals for getting benefits. If you want rain, as a ritual, you have to do it in a proper way. So also to cure your health problems, there are rituals. It's called the Karma Kanda because it is ritualistic portion, rituals to purify the mind. It also has rituals to gain material benefits, but Krishna makes fun and often criticizes those who do this. He only do these rituals for getting the worldly benefits, and they do not progress to the Vedanta, the latter portion of the Vedas, which consists of the knowledge of the Atma. So Krishna makes fun of them throughout the Bhagavad Gita. Te tam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam shine punye matyalokam vishanti evam trayi dharmyam anuprapanna gata gatam kama kama labante. She uses very funny language. They gata gatam, they come and just go, like in a some hotel's entrance, there's a revolving door, right? Like that, they just go, come, go in and come through the revolving door. It's like that. Gata gatam kama kama labante. Why are they doing this? Because they keep having desires. So they go to heavens also. They do good deeds, they go to heavens, and then they come back. Tetam bhuktva, having exhausted all their punyas, they have to come down from the heavens. So list two shlokas where Bhagavan talks about, makes fun of this people. Anybody?
So it's 242 and 243.
Yeah. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadantya vipashchitaha vedavarata partha nanyat astiti vadinaha. They use pushpitam vacham, flowery words, and avipashchitaha, they don't see clearly. Paschita, those who see. Avipashchitaha means those who don't see clearly. Vedavadarata, they just rati means just enamored by all these words in the Vedas that say, oh, you will get this, you will get heaven. And they keep focusing on those. And they say there's nothing else because they don't move to Vedanta. They don't move to the knowledge of the Atma, which is the liberating one. So what happens? Gata gatam kama kama labante. They go and come. And kamatmanaha swarga para. Kamatmana swarga para janma karma palapradam kriya vishesha bahulam bhogaishvarya gatim prati. They only have desires in their mind. They want to get something, swarga. They want to just go to heavens, thinking swarga is the greatest thing. Janma karma palapradam, thinking they'll have better lives next time. And they kriya vishesha bahulam. They do a lot of different actions. Bhoga Aishwarya, for Aishwarya's lordship, Bhoga is enjoyment. So this is their lot. So Krishna, see how he criticizes Bhoga and Aishwarya. This is all they want. Okay. So coming to the last question, which shloka is like a standard one that one has to use to see if one's mind has settled through the yoga practices one is doing? There's one shloka which is like the benchmark. You assess, oh, is my yoga practice going well? This is the shloka which is like a litmus test. Which shloka is that?
2.70, one where one's mind is still and free from desires. That one is the one who is absorbed in wisdom.
Yes. Yeah. This is one of the most beautiful shlokas. Apuryamana pratishtam samudramapa pravishanti yatvat tatvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti na kama kami. Okay. So with that, we conclude the second chapter. Now, we can't be in second chapter forever, though it's a nice chapter. We have to move on to the third chapter. So let's move on to the third. Any questions so far? Let me stop the recording.